If it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I'd be having this phone call.
Saved by a phone call. Monica Robbins brings together a COVID patient and the contact tracer who realized he was in trouble. Wildfire impact. We look at how the smoke from out west is affecting the sun even here in Ohio. Apple Fitness. The tech giant jumps headfirst into the fitness craze. We'll tell you what they offer and how much it will cost. And get the yard you want by spring. We're going to take you step by step, tell you everything you need to do right now to make sure in the spring you have a lush green carpet. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And hello again, everybody. A very happy Tuesday to you at home. Thanks so much for choosing What's New. I'm Jay Crawford. Romney Smith in again for Betsy. Romney, good Tuesday afternoon to you. Great to be with you again.
Good Tuesday to you as well. Always nice to fill in. I'm starting to feel more and more like a regular, which I like. And you know what else is starting to feel more regular? The Browns. I know that's the big story today, and I won't be in attendance Thursday, and we're all wondering more about that, huh?
Yeah, well, not many will be in attendance, Romney. We begin with a developing story. The Browns' home opener, of course, is Thursday evening. They'll take on the Bengals, and we now have a better picture of what rules you'll have to follow if you are one of the lucky few that will get to be inside FirstEnergy. Our Tiffany Tarpley just heard from team leaders. Tiffany, what's new for fans this season?
Well, Jay, this team believes that it is the fans who truly create that home field advantage. So they're only going to have about 6,000 in the stadium. But when it comes to staffing, that will be just like it was before pre-COVID. And it's really all about safety. One of the most interesting things I heard today is the fact that there will be a prosecutor on site to help with fines if necessary and any other issues that might arise. The only time masks are not required is when actively eating or drinking. Strict social distancing rules will be in place from the moment fans arrive and as they are leaving. There will be extensive cleaning, hand sanitizing stations, and reminders to wash hands. Employees will be given health screenings, and fans have to sign off on a health promise. We're talking about season ticket holders here. Leaders with the organization say they are going to see how things go with these first two games with the hopes of adding even more fans down the road.
Excited that we're able to have fans, but I think it's okay to say we were disappointed that it wasn't quite what we were looking for, but also very understanding of all the data inputs that the governor has to consider and what we have to demonstrate as an organization. So hopefully that continues to evolve and we do achieve a higher capacity.
Now, those season ticket holders, the fans were able to opt out of their season tickets before the Browns knew what the capacity would be. More than 50% opted out. To give you some perspective, leaders say they sold more than 60,000 season tickets in past years. So a lot of prioritizing has to happen when you determine who gets the first pick of these tickets, of these seats. Jay, most importantly, they say the success of this plan is really dependent on everyone following the rules.
Because the hope is down the road, there can be more fans at home games. Tiffany, thank you very much. And by the way, a happy belated birthday to you.
Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, on to your feet at 5. Governor Mike DeWine also talked today about the Browns. He said he has faith that team leaders will do a good job hosting those 6,000 fans inside the stadium for Thursday night's game. He wants to make sure that fans are doing a good job too, not just the team. We're talking about the fans who plan not just to go to the stadium, but also those who plan to pack bars to watch the games together in large groups.
You know, I know that football brings a lot of people out who want to kind of congregate together, and we understand that. But, you know, the biggest spread we see is when people are congregating together. And, you know, as far as our bars are concerned, the vast majority of our bars, people who own them, people who run them are doing a good job.
And a message to all local bars. One bar today, a local bar, was the first in the state to lose its liquor license. This actually happened yesterday. Akron's Highland Tavern had its liquor license revoked after numerous state COVID-19 violations. And the governor says agents will be out making sure that bars and restaurants are following all the regulations.
I get it, Jay.
Wow.
You got to do something different to make sure the fans are safe, but I understand wanting to get together and celebrate and watch the Browns. It's a thing.
Well, it's what we've done for so
Yeah.
many years, whether you're allowed in the stadium or you just want to come down to be part of the action.
Right, the atmosphere.
The big thing is no tailgating. I mean, just think about that.
Ooh, the Muni lot. I mean, it's legendary. I work, of course, on Sunday morning, so I'm used to seeing it packed with people full of energy, full of excitement. So it'll be weird that it's empty.
Yeah, it's going to be empty, and I'm not sure how many folks will congregate downtown if they don't have tickets. I'm sure some of the restaurants and bars will have a number of patrons inside, but it's just like everything else in 2020, it's going to have an entirely different feel.
I'll be rooting from home safely.
Me too.
All right, thanks, Jay. Let's get to today's daily COVID-19 update. Today, 1,001 new cases were reported across Ohio. While that is down from yesterday, our 21-day average bumped up to 1,095 cases. Jay?
Romney, our other data points, the positivity rate is also down, now at just 3.1%. That's just 1/10 of a point higher than the lowest daily rate recorded since the pandemic began. Hospitalizations down a few from yesterday. Deaths are way up, all the way up to 87. But remember, the total over the previous 3 days was only 16. The reporting on deaths, not so accurate when it comes to real time. So even with today's 87, our average over the last 4 days is just over 25 daily deaths, while our 21-day rolling average is at 24.
Wanted to say thank you. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I'd be having this phone call.
Let me explain. A Lorain County Health Department contact tracer had no idea he would save the life of a man he was reaching out to talk about his COVID-19 diagnosis. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, joins us live with details. Monica, after hearing that voicemail, I'm ready for the story.
This is such a great story. David Ramos is one of 23 contact tracers at Lorain County Public Health. It's his job to call people who've recently been diagnosed with COVID to talk to them about who they might have been in contact with and who might need to quarantine. Well, last month he called Rick Mayer, but noticed Rick didn't seem to be responding correctly. That's when David realized Rick needed medical attention immediately. So he informed his supervisor. They called 911, and Rick says they saved his life.
What we do is important, and there's always going to be people that we can help. And his voicemail is like a representation of, the good that we do, that, we do have like a lot of success stories and we do help a lot of people.
And to have them be able to step in, to me, calling them was the least I could do. I could just to say thank you, to know that they're out there helping people like me, unbelievable.
So David just turned 21 years old last week, and he is still in college. Rick spent 6 days in the hospital and is still recovering from the after effects of COVID. He says remdesivir, his family, fiance, and the Lorain County Public Health Department are the reason he is alive today. And tonight at 6, I'll bring you more from these two as I introduce them virtually for the very first time.
Okay, so I'll have to wait till 6 for your full story, but I have to ask before letting you go, how is Rick since getting out of the hospital?
He's doing much, much better, and he actually went and got engaged after this. So it's a happy ending all around. He finally asked his fiance after 8 years of being together if she would marry him, and she said yes.
I love that. Okay, well, looking forward to 6 o'clock. Thanks, Monica. Well, new today, a judge has ruled that Ohio can allow multiple drop boxes for ballots per the county. But that decision comes after the Ohio Democratic Party sued Secretary of State Frank LaRose over drop spot limits. Now, there's been an ongoing battle over adding drop boxes to handle the expected surge in absentee ballots. The Cuyahoga County Board of Elections came up with a bipartisan idea to add drop boxes at 6 library locations starting in mid-October. But shortly after that measure was approved, the Secretary of State's office banned the idea statewide. The Cuyahoga County Board of Elections chair talked with me today about the Secretary of State's very tricky position right now.
A secure ballot box is the approach he has taken this time. He's wanted to have more, but he feels the legislature must weigh in and make that decision, not he alone. So it's a tough decision and a tough position he's in.
Right now it's 1 per county, so 88 drop boxes for 88 counties. Some would say that's equal. However, Democrats point out that in more populated counties, like Cuyahoga, it's not equal because of our dense population. I'll break down all of the back and forth, including the new ruling today and why I don't think the lawsuits are over at 6 p.m.
All right now, Romney, it is 8 minutes past the top of the hour. Time to get a quick check of other headlines making news. And for that, we say hello to Russ Mitchell, who is ready to go at the news desk. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Jay. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you at home as well. The family of Breonna Taylor has reached a $12 million settlement with the city of Louisville over her death. Taylor was killed back in March by police when they raided her apartment serving a search warrant. The settlement also includes a list of police reforms and is believed to be the largest payout for a black woman killed by police in the United States. President Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the foreign ministers of the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain to the White House today to sign an historic peace accord. The two countries have agreed to normalize ties with Israel. In return, Israel will suspend its claim of sovereignty over some disputed areas. And Hurricane Sally continues its slow progress toward the Gulf Coast. That storm could bring 11 feet of storm surge in some areas and 2 feet of rain. Record flooding is predicted. And Jay, as we talked about yesterday, these storms are just kind of lining up like flights at Hopkins right now.
It's crazy. When you say record flooding is predicted, think about that.
Oh, yeah.
The New Orleans area is below sea level and has had monumental flooding over the years. It's scary to think what this one might bring.
That is quite a statement, certainly.
Wow. Thanks, Russ. We'll see you at 6 o'clock.
See ya.
Still ahead, what's new with Apple? Our tech guru, Brandon Simmons, is standing by. He joins us live to break down all the new gadgets and updates that were announced just a short while ago.
And Aldi is expanding its advent calendar options. We have all the details on the very popular holiday item.
And Matt Standridge is in for Matt Wintz today. Matt, what's coming up in the forecast?
Hey Jay, yeah, it's been pretty hazy thanks to the wildfire smoke that continues to come in over Ohio. Thank goodness it's way high. We'll talk about how long it's going to last. We'll also talk about the warming temperatures for tomorrow. That's all coming up.
Yeah, I'm still here, buddy.
Testing 1, 2, 3, mic check. Weather testing 1, 2, 3. Cool.
Welcome back to What's New. If you're a regular viewer, you will know that every Tuesday we give you Tech Tuesday. And just like clockwork, Apple held its annual event to announce new products, including a new Apple Watch and iPads. Whenever this happens, we got to turn to our guy, tech guru Brandon Simmons. He follows this stuff so closely, and he monitored the event today and has the very latest. Brandon, good to see you again. So let's start with the watch. How does that change from the last version?
You know what, Jay, before we get into anything, I have to start by saying these events are all about marketing and designed to suck you into the Apple ecosystem. So, of course, today was no different, but I'm going to try to go through everything rather quickly here. So let's start with Apple Watch, as you said. They came out with Series 6, and it's clearly all about keeping you healthy. Apple has added new technology that allows the watch to measure your pulse ox. That's the amount of oxygen in your blood. It's the number that they give you at the hospital when they put that little thing on your finger with the red light. So now that's built into the watch along with updated sleep tracking features and heart rate measurements. Now the new watch also keeps that same pricing at $399, but there's also going to be a watered down Watch SE for $279. Both of those available this Friday. Now to go along with the watch, they've also announced Fitness Plus, where you can actually see workouts on the screen alongside with your vitals being measured on the Apple Watch as you work out. So Fitness Plus starts at $9.99 a month or $80 if you decide to pay for the year. Now, also new this year, Apple is celebrating 10 years of iPad, and there's a new iPad 8th generation and a new iPad Air with a bigger display. Now, that new iPad Air will use a USB-C port just like the iPad Pro and features Touch ID built into the side button to accommodate that bigger display. And the 8th gen iPad will be available this Friday, the new iPad Air later this month. So again, Jay, a lot to take in here.
All right, yeah, a lot to take in, but all of these updates seem like very practical ones. What about those of us who aren't purchasing new devices? What should we expect?
Well, that's an interesting one. We all still get those incremental software updates that we're used to seeing every year. Now, that includes iOS 14. If you're using an iPhone, of course, iPad OS 14 and Watch OS 7. Those will all be available starting tomorrow, and it includes a host of new features, including widgets on the home screen. Lots of pretty cool things that I think a lot of people will be looking forward to tomorrow, Jay.
All right, very good. I'll keep an eye out for that. Brandon, this is all pretty cool, but what about the iPhone itself? That's what a lot of folks are waiting to hear about.
I know. I was one of those folks, too, who was waiting for that new iPhone. And rumors out there say there were some production issues and delays due to COVID-19. So we didn't get that announcement for a new phone today. But some people say we should expect that next month, well before the holidays,
Yeah,
Jay.
I'm sure they will have it out before the holidays. All right, Brandon, always good stuff. Thanks. Great to see you.
Sure thing.
All right, it is time for weather, and our friend Matt Wintz is filling in for Betsy tonight at 6 and 7. So our new friend Matt Standridge is filling in for him right now. And Matt, this is my first time meeting you virtually. I know you've met my husband, meteorologist Jason Fraser. So good to have you with us.
It's great to officially get to meet you. Yeah, the first time I had a big call with the whole weather team, and you were busy doing something, so I didn't get a chance to say hi. But
well, hi.
It's great to say
now.
Hi officially. So there's several things going on with the weather from kind of a nationwide standpoint right now, and a lot of those impacts are being felt here in Ohio. First off, we have the wildfires. Now, here in about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to break down the wildfires a little bit more for you and talk more about how they impact us here at home. But this was a picture I just sent in about an hour ago from the terminal tower. You see the sun there at the top of your screen, but it's pretty hazy. You see a little bit of blue, but those hazy conditions are all that smoke that's in the atmosphere coming in from wildfires along the West Coast. Once again, I'm going to break that down in just about 15 to 20 minutes. So over the next probably 36 hours, the weather's going to stay pretty quiet around here, but will still be kind of hazy thanks to that wildfire smoke that continues to come in over the Great Lakes. But there is some good news. There's going to be a front that comes in by Thursday, helping us to clear out. Then on the other side, headed south towards the Gulf Coast, we've got Hurricane Sally, sustained winds at 80 miles per hour. And if you notice the line, it kind of jiggles a lot. This thing has slowed down big time, only moving at 2 miles per hour. Storm surge is no longer the biggest threat, but rather the heavy rainfall. A lot of folks will be counting their rain totals not in inches, but probably in feet along the Gulf Coast making landfall probably later tonight or early into tomorrow morning. Now this thing, as it moves off towards the north and east, when we're looking at our different computer models, they kind of bend towards the east, away from Ohio. We're probably not going to get any rain out of this, but a lot of folks across the Appalachians will be. There's that latest track, and when you zoom in just a little bit closer, you can see somewhere making landfall just east of Biloxi, west towards the Emerald Coast near Destin. So we'll be watching that system very closely. Wide picture. You see kind of the hazy gray skies coming over the plains and the Great Lakes. That's that smoke. You see the rain towards the south with the hurricane here at home. You see some of that smoke even on satellite here at home, but otherwise things are pretty nice across the area. We're in the 60s and some low 70s once you head further south towards Dover, but most of us are in the upper 60s right now in downtown. As we head over the next 12 hours, we'll cool back into the 50s. It's going to get kind of chilly later tonight, and with that haze, you don't feel as much of the heat from the sun, so later this evening, as soon as sunset rolls around, it's going to be cool out there. Here's your lakeshore forecast on Wednesday. We could have some waves, but otherwise, your Wednesday is looking really nice. In fact, tomorrow, we're going to have warmer temperatures than today. We're probably going to get into the mid-70s overall. Your National Design hour-by-hour forecast even shows that cold front coming in Thursday. That's going to finally clear us out some of that haze that we've been having the past couple hours. All right, your Universal Windows Direct forecast. Tomorrow, warmer, still hazy from the wildfire smoke, but then guys, a cold front comes in on your Thursday, could be a stray shower, but then we're probably expecting some clear skies, not as smoky here in Northeast Ohio for the rest of the week.
All right, thank you for that. Appreciate it, and we will see you in just a bit for more on that explanation you hinted at. Still ahead, the Browns haven't seen the last of Austin Seibert. How they'll end up on the field with the kicker they cut at this Thursday's game.
Then this video is certainly worth the watch. You're not going to believe what this bear ends up doing. It's hilarious, but also a little scary. You'll see it all when What's New comes right back.
Yes, I do.
Welcome back. It's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. And so for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey there, Romney. Well, as you said earlier, the Browns may have not seen the last of Austin Seibert. Our ex-kicker might be starting in Thursday's game at FirstEnergy Stadium after all in a New Jersey. The Cincinnati Bengals signed Seibert today after the Browns cut him on Monday. Turns out the Bengals needed a kicker after their starter, Randy Bullock, got injured kicking on Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. This feels kind of like deja vu over here, just like when Hugh Jackson got fired as head coach of the Browns and got picked up by the Bengals right before we played him. It'll be interesting to see how Seibert does for Cincinnati just a few days after missing his only 2 kicks for the Browns in that ugly loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Now here's something that people go wild for. We have the new date for Aldi's Advent calendars and the new options this year. Aldi's is starting out with the very popular wine Advent calendar on sale first on Wednesday, November 4th. Their new options include calendars full of beer, hard seltzer, cheese. There's even one with salmon treats for your cat. These things go fast, so we can expect to see people lined up, bundled up, 6 feet apart with their masks and all. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think I'd rather just buy a bunch of wine and cheese and skip the line. Speaking of things that are good to eat, the Cleveland Clinic has ranked some of our favorite breakfast foods that are actually the worst for your health. Number 1 on that list, according to registered dietitian Kate Patton, not a huge shock, donuts and pastries with tons of sugar that end up making you hungry again real quick. Number 2, sausage biscuits, which Patton called basically a saturated fat and sodium bomb. And number 3, here's the sleeper, flavored non-dairy creamer. She said, do not be fooled by non-dairy. There is still plenty of trans fat, sugar, and artificial sweeteners, and that stuff is all bad. Now, also on the list, bright sugary cereals and loaded bagels. Romney, I am just glad nowhere in the top 5 at least are extra crispy hash browns. That is my breakfast indulgence of choice.
I was just checking things off of things I've eaten. Check, donuts, check, bagels, check, creamer. It tastes good. Tastes good. I'll just run extra.
Does taste good. Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation.
Absolutely. Wise words, my friend. Thanks, Stephanie.
All right, it is time for our Worth the Watch. Romney, this is scary and kind of funny. According to a radio station in Massachusetts, this man was taking a nap by his pool when a bear got into his backyard. Now, the bear doesn't just drink some pool water. He's going to walk right over to Matt Beat, tap him on the foot, watch this, and then run away. He's curious. He doesn't run too far, though. He goes over by the bushes, hangs out there while Matt wakes up and realizes, what in the world is going on and what should I do? Fortunately for Matt and the bear, all's well that ends well. That's kind of scary, Romney.
I mean, it kind of looks like a baby bear, but still, I would probably scream and wet my pants.
All at the same time.
At the same time, because that is large, beautiful beast, but at the same time, if I'm trying to nap and relax, if I wake up and see a bear, all of a sudden it's startling, and is this a nightmare? I'm awake, what do I do? Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Very scary indeed.
Glad he's okay.
All right, coming up next on What's New, we're learning about the new plan for the Major League Baseball playoff games. It's all set now. I'm going to break down where the bubble sites will be. Then we're helping you get the best possible lawn next spring, but the catch is you got to get busy right now. Step by step, what you have to do to have the best lawn in the neighborhood next spring. Also ahead, the wildfires out west. Matt talked about this. They have virtually destroyed 6 towns, wiped them clean. We'll have the very latest developments, plus how it's actually impacting us right here in Northeast Ohio. Stay with us.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Good evening, I'm Laura Queso. Sneaks it is, Al. Do you hear Crane mocking me? It's incredible. Shocker. I mean, I've known the guy for what, a week? He's too comfortable. It's not. Crane, I'm not talking to you. No, I would never. Too comfortable.
Testing 1, 2, 3, mic check. I got you. You got me? Cool.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
It most certainly is. Welcome back to the program. What's New is the name if you're new to it. I'm hoping you're having a great Tuesday afternoon with Romney Smith. I'm Jay Crawford. Romney, did you by chance happen to get a glance at the sun last night, 7:30?
A glance? Jay, I was staring at it. And I know you're not supposed to stare at the sun, but it looked silvery, and then it was a little pink, and it was
bizarre.
It was creepy looking, but it was beautiful.
I thought it was the moon.
I did too. So yeah, I did see it, and I think a lot of people saw it and were tweeting about it and posting about it on social media.
Yeah, it was very strange. You could stare right at it. It looked perfectly, normally you can't look into the sun, but you could look at it. It just looked like a perfectly round orb, which it is. But I have a feeling that could have had something to do with the smoke from the forest fires out west. Matt's going to join us in just a second to clear all that up. That is our top talker. Takes us out west today to the West Coast. Wildfires in 3 states have burned, get this, more than 1 million acres. Trying to get your mind around that. 6 towns virtually wiped off the map. 35 people have died. Travis Cook lost his mom and brother in Oregon's Beachy Creek fire.
I'd never thought of anything like this, and it's just unbelievable. I still cannot believe I wake up in the mornings and it's just like, is this really happening?
In total, 85 wildfires are burning in the West. Many are hoping that the rain expected later this week could provide some much-needed relief. However, lightning storms are also causing big concern. Now, despite being more than 2,500 miles away, Northeast Ohio is dealing with some effects from the fires. And I have a feeling that's what we saw last night as we looked into the sun. Our new meteorologist, Matt Standridge, is here now. Matt, good to see you again. First, I want to ask, how thick is the smoke and what impact is it having on the sun? Is that what I was looking at last night?
You were. A lot of folks were wondering, wait, is that the moon? Is it a full moon right now?
Yeah.
No, it was the sun. It's crazy.
It really is.
Really crazy.
It's so far away, yet there was enough of it that it completely shaded out that normally too strong for your eyes glare.
Right. It just looked like a bright light that you could look at for a second. Just incredible. But to answer your question about how thick this smoke is in the atmosphere, it's at least about 6,000 feet above our heads where it starts, and it goes up to about 18,000 feet. Wow. So it's a good layer of smoke there. That's a ton. Just to get to that height, you would need about 8 terminal towers. So that's how high it is up in the atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
But it is providing kind of that weird illusion with the sky.
That's a good
We're probably going to
visual.
see it again tonight. So
now,
for sure. Well, if you want to see it again, probably tonight would be a good one too.
I'm guessing that we're seeing it later in the evening because the sun now is setting in the west and we're looking into the west, which is where the smoke is coming from, because I looked at the sun earlier today, and although it was hazy, I couldn't look at it clearly like I could last night.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're looking at it directly hot, you're not looking at as much of a thick layer, but when you're looking off in the distance, there's so much more smoke you're looking through. So it makes it easier for your eyes to see and also provides that color. Just some crazy things. I want to go over some more stats with you guys because there's so many interesting things about this wildfire, unfortunately, that we're dealing with and that our friends off towards the west are dealing with as well. This is a picture of the terminal tower. This is what it should have looked like today. This is what it looked like instead. Look how hazy, how milky those skies are. So there's a few things that we want to touch on. First, how large are these wildfires? Because sometimes it's hard to put that in perspective. What about our air quality here and how long is it going to last? If you're not looking at your TV, you want to do so right now. There's a map of Northeast Ohio. The red outline shows you the largest fire in effect right now, which is called the August Complex Fire. It's almost 800 square miles. The city of Cleveland, only 77 square miles. Imagine driving from downtown south on 77 to Akron and it all be ablaze. That's how big these wildfires are, and there's about 10 of those. So there's a lot of wildfires to talk about. Air quality, poor in the west, but since the smoke is really high in the atmosphere here, we're not dealing with air quality reports, but when you look in the sky, you're going to notice that wildfire smoke. Here's a model to kind of show when and how long the smoke is going to last. It's going to last tomorrow. You're going to notice the hazy conditions for your Wednesday. But as we go further into the week, notice some clear air starts to come in from the north as a cold front arrives. Guys, I do think the skies are going to clear out once again for us about Thursday evening into Friday morning. But until then, all the things you've been talking about, we're still going to see that milky sky for the next couple days.
Incredible. Matt, thank you very much. We'll see you in just a couple of minutes with another check on our forecast. Romney?
So now it's time to check in with Laura Case, who has some of the other big stories of the day. Laura, Akron native LeBron James is known to put his money where his mouth is and support social justice causes and Black Lives Matter. But now the Los Angeles County Sheriff is issuing a challenge to LeBron to support police the same way.
Yeah, Romney, he's asking LeBron to match the $100,000 reward being offered for information about the person who ambushed and shot 2 deputies as they sat in their car on duty. New video shows what happened after the shooting. A 31-year-old female officer who was shot in the face manages to get her partner behind a stone pillar to protect him while they wait for help. He was shot multiple times. Both officers were told they're out of surgery and both are expected to recover. An 11-year-old boy has been charged with reckless homicide following the fatal shooting of a 6-year-old in Canton last night. It's not clear right now how the child got the gun in the first place. The Canton Police Department says this is a reminder about the importance of safely storing weapons. Facebook will launch a new information hub to provide users with science-based information about climate change. A link to the hub will appear when people search for climate change on the site or when they see related posts. The decision comes after false information blaming Antifa for the California wildfires that was shared 63,000 times on the site. Yeah, that's a lot of sharing of false information, Romney.
You know, I like to go to news sites like WKYC.com. That's what I prefer.
There you will find your facts.
There
right?
you go. Laura, thank you so much. We'll see you again in about 30 minutes for What Matters Most at 6.
Well, we now know the plan for Major League Baseball's postseason. Remember, new this year, 8 teams will make the playoffs from both the American and National Leagues. That's up from the 5 teams that usually make the postseason from each league. The wild card rounds are also different. They're now a best of 3, and those will be played at the home stadium of the higher seeds. Then it's off to neutral sites. Here's where those games will be played. The American League Divisional Series will be played at Petco Park out in San Diego. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles will also host one of the ALDS. The National League Divisional Series, they'll be played at Global Life Field in Arlington, Texas, and Minute Maid Park in Houston. As for the ALCS, that will also be at Petco Park in San Diego. The NLCS and the World Series will both be played at Global Field. That is the home of the Texas Rangers. So different this year, Romney. Now, the playoffs begin actually 2 weeks from today, September 29th.
That soon.
The Indians were clipping along just 1 week ago. It looked like they were very much in position to try to win that American League Central. Right now, not the case. They are tied for the 6th seed in the American League with the Yankees, but they've been dropping like a rock. They've lost 6 straight games.
Yeah.
They are in Chicago tonight to play the Cubs. It's going to be a very interesting last couple of weeks of the regular season.
Jay, I have a question for you. you. Because fans aren't allowed in, do you think it's even necessary that they be on neutral territory?
Well, I think this was more an idea to try to control the atmosphere. Remember, all through the regular season, while the NBA was finishing theirs in a bubble, one site, these games in Major League Baseball have been going on in 30 different sites. So this is just a safety measure for the players. Okay. Try to get them all in one or two areas and see what happens.
All right. Sounds good.
Very good. Well, we're just getting into fall, but when it comes to our lawns, we need to be thinking ahead to spring. What you should be doing right now to make sure your grass is green come next year.
And Matt Standridge is in for Matt Wentz. Yes, we have two meteorologists named Matt Standridge. What's going on outside?
Hey, Romney, it's been really hazy the past couple of days thanks to that wildfire smoke. We should start to clear out from it by the end of the week. Also, a big front this week. We're going to talk about it coming up.
Welcome back. Matt Wentz is covering for Betsy tonight, so we chat with our newest meteorologist, Matt Standridge. Matt, I'm from the Deep South, moved here about a year ago from Georgia, so I literally broke out my pea coat this morning walking my dog because it was so cold, but a lot of people here are welcoming our fall temperatures.
Yeah, all the Clevelanders are wearing short sleeves, and I can relate with you.
Yeah.
I'm from the Great Lakes, but I live in Arkansas for the past couple of years.
So you know,
I'm kind of with you. I'm your team.
There you go.
So we'll wear our pea coats or coats, whatever you want to do for the next couple of days. But it's going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow, so that's some good news. We're going to break that down for you. Romney, I do want to talk about Hurricane Sally. It's going to be making landfall here the next several hours along the Gulf Coast. It has sustained winds at 80 miles per hour, a little bit weaker. We're also noticing pressure falls on the northeast side of the storm. So this thing's going to start tilting northeast as it heads towards the Alabama and Florida coast over the next several hours. But it's a Category 1. You can see the line squiggling a lot. It's slowed down. I mean, it's only moving 2 miles per hour. A lot of us jog way faster than that. So there's kind of a wide view. You see the rain hitting the Gulf Coast. Now this thing will continue to move north and then bend east over time. You see the computer models taking it right over Georgia and towards the Carolinas, bypassing us here home in Ohio. So we're not going to get any rain out of this, but a lot of the folks along the Gulf Coast, they're going to be picking up, over 15 to 20 inches of rain for a lot of folks. There's kind of the latest track just from Dauphin Island and head east towards Pensacola and then east towards Destin. They'll be getting a lot of that rain. But here at home, not rains in the forecast, but rather a lot of hazy skies. You probably noticed some. That's all that wildfire smoke that we were just talking about. It's over 6,000 feet above our heads. So we're not concerned about air quality as much here at home, but it's harder to see the sun at sometimes because everything's just kind of gray and milky. Now there is a front coming by Thursday. So by Thursday, we'll start to clear out some of the smoke. You can see it on some of these computer models. This is a look at tomorrow's forecast. And those colors you see, that shows that smoke. See, there's a lot over Ohio. You see that flashing icon. That's where we are. But notice over time, as I progress this model, we start to push down the smoke and we eventually get some clear air from Canada. So that's going to bring us back to some of those blue skies that we like to enjoy at this time of year. But right now, you zooming in, you do see some of that smoke, kind of those light grays passing over Ohio right now. The temperatures are holding mainly in the 60s at 66 near downtown and 70 right now, recording in Dover. Tomorrow's forecast, I think it will be mostly sunny, still hazy, headed out in the lake, waves only about 1 to 3 feet. Not too bad out there. Here's your National Design hour-by-hour forecast. As we head over the next several hours, guys, the weather looks really calm. That southwest wind comes in tomorrow. It will be pretty warm, but by Thursday, that front's going to come through, clear out the smoke. There could be a stray shower with that as well, and then a lot cooler the rest of the week. Your Universal Windows Direct forecast shows you that warmer air tomorrow, so enjoy tomorrow. It's still going to be hazy with that wildfire smoke, but we do start to clear out the air from both humidity and from the wildfire smoke starting Thursday evening. The rest of the week, guys, looking pretty cool, but also staying pretty sunny. Jay?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Well, even though it is beginning to get colder, fall isn't officially here yet. We're still a few days away from the official start of fall, but when it comes to lawn care, we need to be preparing for the spring right now. Noelle Aiken from Petiti Garden Centers showed me some nice tricks on how to make sure your grass is the best on the block next year. Labor Day has come and gone, and that means you're now ready for really your winter prep for your lawn. And Noelle Aiken is here from Petiti's Garden Centers, and she's basically going to help us get these ugly brown spots that I have periodically throughout my lawn looking nice and green by the spring. So Noelle, how do we start?
Sure. So beginning of September is the best time to work on the lawn. It literally is. So you want to get out there and do it. Right here, Jay, you don't have a lot of weeds, but you have some drought spots. So you just have some dieback from the drought that we had this summer.
Right.
And so you start by cleaning those spots out. Just take a cultivating fork, a rake, go ahead and just remove those drier grass areas.
Not too heavy here, right?
Not too heavy. You're just kind of scraping the surface, and you want to just clear out that debris. And then the next thing you're going to do is prepare that soil bed. So your grass seed will always germinate in better soil.
Okay.
And so
what are we using here?
Yeah, so this is sweet peat. Sweet peat is a composted soil amendment. We like to use it for seeding, especially lawns. We like to use it for mulching. We like to use it for a soil amendment. So it's really great, light layer, just like you're doing. So there's probably not even an inch there, but that's perfect. It's nice and rich. You can tell it's gonna really, that seed's gonna be able to tack on there. So the next step.
Go to the seed?
So your seed is right in front. Now remember, seed you can buy for your sunlight, so just make sure you're getting the right mixture for the sun. You get sun and shade here, so we have a sun and shade mix, which is really good because you can use it in lots of different areas. You just lightly sprinkle the seed over the top, and that's great. That'll work just fine.
Okay, do I move it in with my fingers or just leave it lay on the top?
Really, you can let it lay on the top, not a problem whatsoever. And then the next step would actually be you can fertilize and also lime. And we like to do that in the fall. You're using a fall fertilizer that has no weed control in it. Just lightly fertilize, and of course you could put that in a spreader and you could put it across the entire lawn, and that would benefit the entire lawn for this time of year.
Same with the lime?
Same thing, that can go into a spreader and you could do it across the entire lawn as well.
Very good. Okay, now after I've got the lime over top of this, is that now it just needs regular water, right?
Yes, so moisture is real key here too. Of course, when you're trying to germinate seeds, you want to make sure that that area stays moist. So sprinkling about, once a day. Go ahead, make sure that area just stays nice and dark.
Right.
Doesn't wash off the seed or anything, but that's really how you want to keep it until it starts germinating and sprouting. Just keep it moist, and after that, we're looking at about a ½ inch of water twice a week, typically.
Okay, and really the results won't be evident until the spring, but these spots should come up nice and green like everything else.
Oh, you'll see them. You'll see them this fall.
I will. I'll see new grass
absolutely,
this fall.
Absolutely. You will see them fill in really, really easily. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically how you spot clean your brown spots. Now is the time, again, after Labor Day. Noelle assures me that is the best time to get out here and do that. So go on out, enjoy the beautiful weather before the winter stuff gets here. Noelle, thank you very much. Very informative, and hopefully next year we'll have fewer brown spots in my lawn. Yeah. The challenge is watering. The family of Carol Baskin's missing husband might be getting the final word. We're going to tell you all about what the family did while she competed on Dancing with the Stars last night. This is quite a story.
Whoa, and also a sweet story. This man was forced to get himself home from the movie theater in a wheelchair until local heroes stepped in to give him a hand. That's ahead in our Show Us Something Good segment. Welcome back. The Tiger King saga continues. The family of Carol Baskin's missing husband aired a commercial while she competed on Dancing with the Stars last night. And actor Paul Rudd has a message for any millennial who doesn't want to wear a mask. That's all covered in today's Pop Break.
Fans were shocked last night during the season premiere of Dancing with the Stars when the family of Carol Baskin's missing husband, Don Lewis, showed up during a commercial asking for information on the whereabouts of their family member. Baskin is a contestant on this season, and ever since Tiger King dropped on Netflix back in March, conspiracy theories over her first husband's disappearance have run wild on the internet. Don's family asked that anyone with information come forward and called Carol out by name. Looks like the Tiger Claws are officially out. Jeopardy is back and making new announcements to keep contestants and the show's beloved host, Alex Trebek, safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The show has separated the players' desks and implemented deep cleaning procedures. According to the show, safety is of the utmost priority, and we're just happy it's back. We'll take what we can get for $800, Alex. Certified young person Paul Rudd is reminding his fellow millennials to wear a mask amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The actor is going undercover to help stop the spread of the virus in a hilarious new video.
Get this. Apparently a lot of COVID is transmitted by us millennials. No cap. You want a challenge? How about a Stop the Pandemic challenge? What about that?
Pretty cool, Paul, but can we get a fact check on his age? And Chris Evans has finally addressed his accidental leak of NSFW pics over the weekend. Captain America himself took to Twitter writing, "Now that I have your attention, vote November 3rd. Talk about rising above.
Let's go back to Red for a second.
Please do.
First off, I know he's not a millennial, but he never ages, so he can get away with it.
You're right.
But I like his simulated TikTok challenge of let's eliminate the pandemic. That's a good one, and his dancing was...
I love the sound effects.
So
it was
perfect.
Really well done.
He's
done.
so great. I love him.
Yeah, he is. And you're right. The guy's definitely not in his 30s, but he looks like he is.
Yeah, he does.
Whatever he's doing something right.
Certainly right.
Romney, thanks. We are searching for the ultimate Indians fan, whether baseball got you through a really tough time or you had something amazing happen to you while at Progressive Field. We want to hear about it. So text us your pictures or video with an explanation on why you are the ultimate Cleveland Indians fan. Send them to 216-344-3300. You might get some extra love from the team. Again, text your pictures or video and your story to 216-344-3300. You can also submit through the WKYC app. Betting we get a lot of those. Still ahead, a local man in a wheelchair was left stranded in the middle of the night. This is a crazy story. First responders, though, hopped in to save the day or night. It's next in our Show Us Something Good.
Then tonight on What Matters Most at 6, our 88 Counties and 88 Days series continues. We'll take you to a county where a bingo hall is bringing everyone together. But first, before we go, we have to let you know about some breaking news. We have just confirmed a 10-year-old was shot in the back on East 117th Street. He was taken to Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. Right now, he's confirmed to be in critical condition. We'll bring you the very latest tonight at 6 and on our app and website.
Hi, Al. Testing 1, 2. I know, it's crazy.
SAR is preoccupied with Crane. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Breaking news from Cleveland tonight. A 10-year-old boy
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
And we wrap it up with today's Show Us Something Good. Comes to us from the Euclid Police Department. Officer Kuchta noticed a man in a motorized wheelchair. He was riding in the curb lane on Monticello Boulevard around 1:30 in the morning. The man told the officer he went to a movie at Richmond Mall, and due to a scheduling error, he couldn't get a ride on the bus going home. He was riding the curb lane to try to conserve battery power, hoping to make it to the South Euclid-Cleveland border. Officer Kuchta and the fire department got the man and his wheelchair home safely. Wow.
I love that.
I do too.
That's what they're there for. They're there to help. And, you know, I'm sure that the lights and bells started going off when they saw him saying, what is he doing at 1:30 in the morning on the side?
Absolutely. And they came to save the day. And
Love
good for
that.
them. Thank you. And thank you for watching What's New. We certainly hope you join us tomorrow. We're back again at 5 o'clock.
That's right.